welcome back to A Glittery Life. Oh my gosh, okay, so I just got back from Sundance Film Festival in Park City, Utah, and you guys, for the first time ever, I really vlogged. I vlogged the whole week. If that video is not up yet, it's gonna be up in the next day or so. If it is up already, I will link it down below so that you guys can watch it as well. I'm not a vlogger. It's totally new to me, but I hope you can see that it was super fun and that you kind of get a little bit of a taste of my experience at Sundance in Park City. So it was so cool. But anyway, I promised you guys as soon as I got back, and I just got back, I promised you guys that I would do a swatch video and review of the Natasha Denona 28 pan green brown palette. I actually took this with me to Park City. I wasn't planning on taking it with me. I was going to leave it home because I was nervous that it would be too fragile to travel, because I'm super bummed that I traveled with my Kat Von D metals, whatever they're called, shadows, and one of them totally shattered. So I was like, ugh, I don't know. But then I realized Natasha travels with these, and she just threw them in her bag. She wasn't even I was this, in my bag, holding my bag like this, like a total ding dong. But she's throws them in her bag. She travels with them. So I was like, if Natasha can do it, I can do it. So I did. So I used them all week. It's actually the only eyeshadow. I took other eyeshadows with me, didn't touch them, just used the big palette. It's what I have on my eyes today, and I just can't get enough of it. Beautylish did a secret sale with a partial shipment that they had in, and these palettes sold out in minutes. Yeah, minutes. So what's going to happen is by mid-February, they will be back in stock, and the minute I have a link for you for early access for these, I will post it everywhere, because honestly, if you want the big ones, you've got to get on early access. So enough about that. Let's talk about the palette. First off, it's so beautiful. This is perfect. This is a perfect neutrals palette, right? You can do all kinds of different easy looks, or really smoky bronze looks, a really smoky green look. You can do a really defined eye. You can do a really basic eye. And you have a mix of velvet, satin, metallic, pearl. I think those four are what's in here. That's just off the top of my head, but I think that's what the four is that's in here. And oh, I'm wearing NARS Anna on my lips. I know you're all gonna ask, so that's what's on my lips. But anyway, sorry about that. Back to this. So these, I don't know. Lots of people are saying that there's a ton of fallout with these, and this is what I know about. Let me turn Voxer off. That's Natalie. Hey girl, Natalie from Flower Bomb 31. I'll Vox you back in a second. Okay, so this is what I can say about the people who are telling you that these shadows have a lot of fallout. I can tell you one of two things. One, they're not actually using the palette. Two, they don't, they're digging in it with a forklift or something, because I don't have any shadow. I don't have any fallout. In fact, I purposely did not clean up underneath my eyes, and I put concealer on first today. I did concealer, setting powder under my eyes, and then I did my eye makeup because I wanted you to see how much fallout these have. So let's zoom you in. What do you guys see? Other than I probably should have put on a little bit more concealer. Did you see any fallout? I didn't think so. Now granted, I am a professional makeup artist, but if you're doing eye makeup properly, you shouldn't have any fallout. And by properly, I mean you're putting your brush in here, picking up product, and putting it on. Now, I thought it was maybe common sense that if you have a really soft, pressed pigment shadow, you don't dig your brush in it. You just tap your brush in it, pick your product up, and put it on. I don't know, maybe that's not common sense, so that's why I'm mentioning it, because that's how you're gonna wanna work with this. I could imagine if you were grinding your brush in there and then putting it on, yeah, you're gonna have fallout, but that would be the same with any shadow. So that tells me those girls are not really using their palette, or they don't know what to do with eyeshadow. So anyway, that's just a little 2 cents for you. But if you're having fallout with these, you're using it too hard and you're putting too much shadow on your brush. I don't even tap my brush off, you guys, with these. So that tells you anything. Okay. This is a review. So I do want to tell you that I use MAC Paint Pot and Painterly as my eye base. I use that for everything. I feel like it's glue for my oily hooded eyelid. and it works perfect. When I told Natasha that's what I used as my eye base, she was like, looked down her nose at me and she was like, you need my eye base. And I was like, Natasha, you better believe as soon as it's available, I'm gonna buy it. She was like, I don't like MAC Paint Pot. And I was like, well, whatever, I love it. And it works for me. But I do want to try her eyeshadow base because she said it's legit and I believe her. I'm getting about like 12 hours wear time out of these without them creasing, without them fading, without them falling out all over my face. I mean, that's crazy, especially because right now there's some girl on Instagram, I can't even remember what her name is, but she's like doing like all the dupe that stuff with these. And so she's comparing ColourPop and Morphe because they have the same color and in a swatch they look the same. But if you've worn ColourPop and you've worn Morphe, you know they last a couple hours. And then they're kind of gone. They're really faded away. They're pretty, but they don't last. I'm telling you that my experience with these shadows is about a 12-hour wear time. Even at Sundance, I would do my makeup in the morning. We would be gone all day long. We'd be walking around in the snow, in the wind, in the freezing freaking cold. It was so cold. And I would go to a party that night without having touched up anything and my eyeshadow would still be on point and not creased. So I can only tell you what my experience is, and I promise you, you're never gonna get that with Morphe or ColourPop. No matter how much you want to get that kind of longevity, because they're so cheap, you're not gonna get them. It's not the same. This product is made in Italy. Those products are made in probably China. I mean, I think ColourPop's made in the US, but I would wager that Morphe's made in China. So it's not the same. Now, this palette is not for everybody. I realize that. This palette is expensive. It's $239. I know, take a deep breath. I saved up for this baby. I knew it was coming and I was saving my money. $239, great investment because it comes to $8.53 or 59 cents or something like that, a shadow. Yeah. One shadow individually is $27. If you're buying them in the 5 pan, it's like 9 something, and this is 8 something a shadow. That's a really good price for me. As a pro, nobody else kind of really discounts even lower than that. So that's actually a great deal for me, a great price for me. So that would be what I would say about the shadows. They're really blendable. They're so beautiful. Even as you're blending, they are holding their pigmentation and they're not just dusting off into outer space. Like a lot of shadows, like if you really blend them, which girls, blend your shadow. If you're really blending it, they're going to sort of start dusting off and you're going to have to come back and keep packing it. Now there's nothing wrong with that, but you don't have to do that with these. So I don't know. I mean, listen, I can't wait to get the other one. I am saving up for the other one. So let's do some swatches for you guys, starting with the front row. I hope this lighting is not going to be too hot for these, but that's like the first 4. I don't know if you can really see these. They're beautiful greens and like a really pretty like taupey silver. These are the last 3 shades for that top row. So this is the top row. You can see it goes from like greens to some browns with a really pretty like silver in there as well. These are super pigmented. They have a ton of power when even just for a swatch. Now lots of shadows do that. That's nothing special to me. What's special is how beautiful they blend and how well they stay once you blend them. Now moving on to the second row, you're going to see we're going to go sort of stay in that greens to some of the more neutral shadows to some of the browns with a couple mattes in this row as well. You can see those are so pretty. So far, this is the row that I sort of gravitate towards the most with these really pretty warm browns, the neutral transition shades, and then some of these more like taupey, like silvery gray, greenish. Oh, they're so beautiful. Like this one right there is, they're just really some unusual shades and I cannot get enough of them. This third row has some more of the interesting kind of like shades that I really haven't used yet. Some of those turquoise ones, but then it does have some more of the neutral ones that I like a lot. You can see this guy is a beautiful duochrome. I'm actually wearing it today. I mean, how beautiful is this row? I need to do something with these but I just haven't. But look at this. This is a real duochrome, you all. That's what a duochrome should look like. Oh, it's so pretty. I'm gonna get a little bit more on there so you can really see that guy. Make a much bigger swatch. Oh, I love it. I love it. And you can see how beautiful those champagne highlight shades are as well in this row. And then the last row is all these warm browns and rust colors, which I have used probably more than anything else. And I love the fact that you still can't even tell that I've like really even used those. I mean, you can see like a little bit of like mess around their pans, but still pretty clean. And these two colors being two more of the mattes from this palette. I mean, they are pretty fantastic in the world of bronzes, browns, you know, things that used to be my just like must-haves have sort of fallen by the wayside now because of the pigmentation and the beauty of this palette. Oh, it's so nice. Look at that. So, $239 palette. Worth the splurge, worth it, worth the investment? Absolutely. Hands down, 100% worth every single penny. Natasha herself said these palettes should actually retail for double the price. She created these for her students. I don't know if you know this about Natasha, but she's a very famous makeup artist and she has the most famous makeup school in the Middle East. And she actually created these palettes as an affordable way for her students to build their kits and have the best product in their kits. So that's actually what this palette is created for. And we are lucky enough that we're getting it for the price that we're getting it at. So available exclusively at Beautylish. I will link it down below. I will link Beautylish's website down below, and any links that I can get you that will get you early access, I promise I will post those as well. But I've got to say this is a 10 out of 10, and I probably could never buy any other eyeshadows again for the rest of my life and be completely happy. So it's so funny too, because I love like MAC, I love Burberry, I love Tom Ford, all that kind of stuff, and I just am like, nothing compares. When I say these are the best eyeshadows that I've ever used in my life, both personally and professionally, that's a really big statement. Like that's a very big, bold statement. These are the best things I've ever used, hands down. So there you have it. That's what I think. Is it for everybody? No. Should you save for it? Absolutely. Is it worth using FlexPay on Beautylish? Yes. If you ever are going to do a FlexPay on Beautylish, now's the time. 3 easy payments, no interest. You can't go wrong. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think down below. And let me know what you are looking at if you're going to get them. If you're all mad because the palette's so expensive, don't leave a comment because I don't really care. Okay? But if you're like really kind of like on the fence and you have a question, let me know. I'd love to answer it. Thanks so much for watching, you guys, and have a good day. Bye.